The first dilemma is from Ari Putty. Can the nofap flatline occur as recently as a month into nofap? Yes, it can. Everyone's nofap journey is going to be a little bit different. Okay, that's the reason why I haven't made like a nofap timeline type of video, is because my journey is not going to be the same as Ari Putty's journey. And Ari Putty's journey is not going to be the same as, somebody else's journey. As a matter of fact, I've been on 2 nofap journeys, 2 long streaks, and those weren't even the same. Okay, I experienced my benefits on a different timeline with each nofap journey. And I'm the same person. I have the same DNA, all of that. I'm still Jordan Green. But I had 2 different journeys. Okay, so what you have to understand is that depending on the context of your life, for one, depending on, your level of addiction to PMO before you start nofap, there's a lot of factors that will play into when you will experience certain things. Okay, and the flatline is no exception to that. Now, me personally, I would say I experienced my flatline probably around the 60-day mark. At about the 60-day mark, that's when I started to feel kind of dead inside. Okay, and it sounds very harsh, but that's just the way I was feeling. But the understanding that it was the flatline is what got me through it. And I have made a video talking about the flatline, so be sure to check that out if you haven't watched that. The next dilemma is from Poetry Writer 00. I have a job interview this upcoming week, and although this is great news and I could potentially have a new job with better pay, I'm going to miss the job I have now if I were to have a great interview. I work with cool people and it'd be sad to see them go. Yet at the same time, I do know that I deserve good opportunities. I could be jumping to conclusions, but I need some clarity on what to do. You have to learn to let go of what you have and let go of your sense of comfort if you want to grow. Okay, comfort is the enemy of success. If you get caught in your comfort zone, that is going to bring a sense of complacency, which complacency isn't necessarily a bad thing, but when you let it deter you from taking greater opportunities and leveling up in life, complacency is going to be your worst enemy. And that's something that I realized personally. For me, it wasn't so much about finding a new job, but it was about quitting my job and embracing YouTube. At my job, things were pretty comfortable. I had multiple friends working there with me. I was making not great money, but better money than I had ever made before. I was making like $11.25 an hour, which before that I was making $7.25 an hour minimum wage. So I was making decent money, working around my friends, get discounts on clothes, all of those great benefits. But I was too complacent. It was getting to the point where I was starting to question my YouTube journey and consider the possibility of, trying to level up in terms of working retail. And that was kind of the last straw for me. That was when I realized I need to leave. I need to get out of here. I need to remove myself from this situation because I'm getting too comfortable. And for me, I feel like pressure forces you to grow. Learning to endure adversity and pressure and discomfort will force you to become a better version of yourself. And that will attract even better opportunities into your life. And that's how you get to that point where you're just constantly elevating. You're constantly becoming better and you're constantly, seizing new opportunities each and every day. And basically, getting to a point where your life is no longer recognizable, like me. Today I got paid on YouTube, and just having to manage that amount of money, I realized I've come a very long way. I've come a very long way in, doing what I do. And I want everyone to have that feeling. But you have to understand that being complacent where you are will not bring you that feeling. You're going to have to step out on faith. And also, when it comes to having friends that you work with, you can always keep in contact with them afterwards. I still keep in contact with some of the people that I used to work with. Sometimes I even go back and visit my old job. You don't have to just stop talking to or communicating with these people just because you move on to better things. The next question is from Jalen. When you guys take cold showers, do you guys go all in cold water at once or slowly make the water colder and colder? Me personally, I just like to go in full on. I turn the shower to its coldest setting and then I just get in. Now, obviously not everyone is cut like that. Okay, this is something that I've been doing for a few years now, so I'm used to it. It's still very uncomfortable, but I'm used to it, and I'm mentally prepared for it. If you're not mentally prepared for it, this right here might just ruin your entire day. But when you do that, I feel like you're getting more out of your cold shower. And the reason why is because cold showers are all about embracing discomfort. Just like I was talking about with Poetry Writer in his situation. You want to embrace discomfort. You want to learn to be comfortable in situations where you should be uncomfortable. Because in doing that, you learn to embrace adversity and you develop a growth mindset, a long-term mindset. You see the long-term benefits of you doing what you're doing on a consistent basis. Okay, and it sounds like I'm going very deep for something as simple as cold showers, but that's what self-improvement is all about. It's all about the little things. It's about small incremental improvements over time. And taking cold showers and, doing them to the fullest capacity, turning that water to its coldest setting and just jumping in. There's no way to truly mentally prepare for that. Like I said, I've been doing it for a few years and I'm used to it, but that doesn't mean it's any more comfortable than it was my very first time doing it. Okay, it still sucks every time, but I still do it. And every time I do it, I become just a little bit stronger mentally. Now, with that being said, I will say that, slowly transitioning from warm water to cold water is better than not taking a cold shower at all. You're still going to receive, some of that same discipline, but understand that in getting into the water when it's at its coldest, okay, that is going to make you a whole different breed. That is what it means to be built different. Okay, you are built different at that point because you are embracing discomfort in its purest form. The next dilemma is from Yuleyu. My dilemma: this kissed someone else while we were dating. Then in a group chat, I said no one likes you, and then everyone is on her side and she's acting like the victim. And she said she got peer pressured to do it, but I know for a fact she chose to do it. I have a screenshot of her friend who was there saying she wasn't dared or peer pressured. If I say anything else, everyone will say, ugh, get over it. What should I do? I don't even think I need to, bro, just leave the group chat. Leave the group chat, stop talking to that girl. You need to cut her off. That's crazy to me. I can tell you're probably in middle school because stuff like that only happens in middle school. And I guess I should take that into account when giving you this advice because I can't expect you to operate with the same level of maturity as someone my age. But with that being said, even at 12, even at 8 years old, I don't think I could ever imagine myself getting caught up in a situation like that. If your girlfriend kissed somebody else, she belongs to the streets. She belongs to the galaxy. If somebody cheats on you like that, it probably has absolutely nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. Even if she was dared or peer pressured into doing that, which, like you said, you have proof that she wasn't, but even if she was, that doesn't justify it. Okay, that's just her being weak-minded. I would never let somebody convince me or peer pressure me into kissing another girl if I know that I'm in a relationship. You need to leave her alone. You need to leave that group chat. Cut off everybody in that group chat. Everyone who's telling you to get over it, you need to cut all of them off. Okay, anybody who says get over it after you've been cheated on, they don't need to be in your life. The next dilemma is from PP Guy. I just had a wet dream during an hour nap. Is that okay? Because usually I get wet dreams every 2 weeks, but I released 3 days ago prior to this. I didn't watch anything or do anything before either. Wet dreams are not a relapse. When you're asleep, you can't do anything about that. It is what it is. Your body, it got rid of the excess and that's it. You're not back on day 0 or anything like that. And that's why I don't think you should necessarily count the days day by day like that, because then you're going to get in your head about, any little mishap like that. And you have to understand that the whole point of nofap is to become mentally stronger and focus on other things. So if you're more focused on nofap than you are on other aspects of your life, you're hustling backwards. Okay, you're not getting the most out of your nofap journey. If anything, it's probably more detrimental than it is, helpful to you at that point. Okay, so I don't want you guys to be overthinking the small things on nofap, because the whole point of nofap is to not think about nofap. You should be thinking about other things in your life. Now, like I said, wet dreams are not a relapse. Okay, when you have a wet dream, what that means is that your body is simply getting rid of the excess, because if you're not releasing, you have to understand that it has to go somewhere. Okay, so either your body is not going to produce as much, or you're going to release it through the form of wet dreams, which is okay. But also, I will say this, okay, if wet dreams become too much of a problem for you, a few things that I used to do personally were take cold showers, wake up earlier. Okay, a lot of times what you'll probably realize is that you have wet dreams later on in your sleep cycle, because they typically happen while you're dreaming, okay, in those later stages of sleep. So if you wake up earlier, you can curb that cycle. I learned that from Captain Sinbad. Shout out to him. But waking up earlier, taking cold showers, and just not putting your mind in a lustful state. Okay, focusing on other things. I haven't had a wet dream in months because I don't spend much time thinking about lustful things. I spend a lot of my time thinking about YouTube, thinking about success, thinking about all of the goals that I'm setting for myself and all of the ways in which I could achieve those goals. That's where my mind is. And that's where your mind should be as well. You should be focused on the bigger picture of your life. The next dilemma is from Milton. Okay, my dilemma. I've been into nofap since November 2019 and been on and off as 60 to 90 day streaks. I deleted social media in the summer of 2019. I've had some ups and downs where I felt the best in my life to the worst. I'm a highly sensitive person and the impression around me is much to take in. I'm at a point where I have to choose my education from 3 years onward, and I have two choices. The first one is to go where all of my friends will go, and the second is a school which is smaller and closer to my family. 2 days ago, my friend really started to nag about me re-downloading Snapchat, which I before said no to. But now I downloaded it, and I don't know why. But I feel really bad and I'm living a nightmare. I feel lost and emptiness. Okay, the first thing that you need to understand is you cannot let your friend peer pressure you into doing something that you know is not serving your mental health. If you know that something is detrimental to your mental health, you can't let anybody, including myself, encourage you to take that up. Okay, you have to put your own mental health first and you have to know yourself and know how these things will affect you. To me, it seems like that's the biggest problem that you're having right now, is that you're allowing yourself to be overly influenced by other people, whether it's friends, family, or whatever. Okay, you said that you have two schooling options, one where your friends are going, one where your family is. But where do you want to go? Where do you want to go to school? That's what you need to be asking yourself. Don't take your friends and family into account when you make decisions for your life. Because the truth of the matter is that you're the one that has to live with the consequences of your actions. When your friend told you to re-download Snapchat, he doesn't have to live with the consequences of that. You do. And you have to be aware of that. Even if it's somebody that you trust, like I said, including myself. You have to know yourself well enough to make the best decisions possible for your well-being. And you can start by deleting Snapchat.